Right, apologies guys, we're having a few technical issues. I had to do a restart there on XSplit Broadcaster, but anyway, hopefully we're up and running. Welcome to VP4 TV, welcome to Rob, welcome to Dwight, I saw you there in the chat. We're a few minutes away, just a couple of minutes away from what I call the semi-final match in this year's VP4 2022 Cowboy World Championship. It's a match between Cobra and Tommyy. Cobra from the UK, Tommyy from Germany. And the winner, of course, will play Albinario in the final in a race to 4. Now the problem, obviously, for Tommyy is Tommy's battled his way through, but I haven't seen his last couple of matches because there have been at times that I can't be there. So I haven't really been able to judge him on his last couple of performances. But he's got to be scoring and scoring heavily, given the chance to really apply the pressure to Cobra. But Cobra responds pretty well to the pressure anyway, and he'll put in his scores. I'm thinking something like 3-1 to Cobra, but that's up to Tommyy to prove me wrong. And the other thing also is, I've just checked, Tommyy is in the room. He's arrived. Cobra arrived about 20-25 minutes ago, and they're both ready to go. So the room will go up in a minute or two, and I hope everybody's picking me up loud and clear. It should be working okay now, I think. Let me just check.
Hasta la vista, baby.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
The trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
Your assignment tonight is strategic. You can't give the enemy a break. Send them to hell.
When things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just the way it is.
So we're waiting on the room going up. And the room is up, so we'll get in. Now, is there anybody out there? Because there was people there before I had to do the restart. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I'm a bit worried that this isn't going through okay. Ah, welcome. Apologies for that. I had to restart XSplit. So Tommyy already in the room. In fact, both of them are in the room. They've lagged off. Tommy's breaking. Watch this cue ball. Well, the monkey's out the bag straight away. A big fail for Tommyy in the break. I mean, you should never be scratching in the bottom left-hand corner off the break. That's why I always break right from the rail on the right side, so that I come into the kitchen or fall just between the 1 ball and the 5 ball, you're never ever going to scratch. The only danger is catching the middle pocket knuckle on the right hand side. And Tommyy should never ever have scratched there on that break. But again, if you play Cowboy often enough, you'll find your break, whatever one suits you. But clearly Tommyy hasn't, because he would never ever have played that shot had he been breaking regularly enough in Cowboy. Welcome to Eddie, welcome to Larry, welcome to Albie, Run Out Rob, Dwight, and anybody else that's there. Steve, his intention is to join us, but he says he's in a meeting, so he may well either get tied up, totally forget, or be there all day. So we'll wait and see. So how much punishment is Tommyy going to get from that big mistake right off the bat? And Cobra means to administer that punishment. And, well, this won't be the start that Tommyy wanted. But my prediction stands firm that it should still be Cobra and Albinario in the final. They've been the two best players in the tournament by far, because of the volume of scoring that they've had throughout the tournament. They've had damaging contributions a lot of the time, and that's been too much for everybody else in the tournament that they've played. Welcome to Tam. Albie's going 3-0 Cobra. Well, I say 3-1 to Cobra, but I'm hoping to be surprised. But Cobra there almost fell foul of letting that cue ball run. Now, of course, being a player where he doesn't want to let the cue ball run, he's got a problem, because the 3 ball obviously goes into the side, but the 1 ball's tied up on the top corner pocket. And he'd be loath to try and play a carom onto that 1 ball. So he's more than likely going to pot it and get it on its spot. Then he's going to have to come up with a shot to stay at the table. And he's trying to get below the 1. And that's no good. Because, well, it might be if he can sneak the 1 behind the 3. I think he might be able to sneak the 1 behind the 3. Yeah, I think he can. There's a big enough gap there, and he can get the force follow. Well, that's a bit of luck. Yeah, well, that's unlucky. He had the right idea, but Tommyy will be relieved. The run is only 21, and well, Tommy's got a chance to remedy the situation from his first visit disaster that he had. So we'll see if Tommy's up to the task tonight. Now, I think he's got an angle where he could come down to the middle pocket and play the 1-5. He hasn't quite got there, so there's a danger with the angle that he's got here that if he hits this 5 wrong, he could scratch. And he's got to be careful here. Well, he's going a couple of rails, and that's the safest route. Rather than going straight to it. Welcome to Hairpig. Albie, if you're there, I don't know whether you heard what I was talking about on the other stream the other day there, but in fact that's what I need to do. Just while Tommy's at the table here, let me just tab and bring the tournament up. I'm obviously hoping to get the final, Albie, and I'm just reminding myself of what the deadline date is for the final, because I'm assuming it's going to fall on my week off. So Tommy moves on to 13, and that's it, and that's not enough. Right, hang on. If I had time when this XSplit hadn't to get restarted, I could have brought all this stuff up. Let's have a quick look. Right, so the deadline is January the 17th. And I'll just get my phone to remind myself. I'm just checking my schedule. My schedule. So I'll go back to work tomorrow after my 2 days off. And here's the thing. Calendar. Right, so the deadline is the 17th. Now that is in the middle of my week off. From the 16th right through to the 21st, I'm off. So obviously if it was the Monday for the final, not a problem. Tuesday, the last day, not a problem. So Monday or Tuesday would be ideal if I'm going to get to stream it. Any time before that, then it would then need to be for me to stream it on my day off. But maybe you don't want to play it quite as soon as that. Maybe you want to let it run until nearer the time. Yeah, the 17th. So the 17th is the Tuesday. And the Monday I'm off anyway as well. That's the start of my week off. So I don't care if it's Monday or Tuesday. That's perfect. It could be any hour of the day or night. I'll be there for it. And we've got to remember as well as it's a race to 4. So, it's going to be at least 3 hours. 3.5. And longer if possible, depending on how things go. But it's still to be decided who's going to be there. But Tommy's contribution of 13 isn't going to get the job done. He's got to really pick it up. And the question, of course, is how far behind is he going to be when Cobra's finished? Now, he doesn't want to risk. I mean, he could put a wee bit of left on this just to get the cue ball top side, and that's maybe why he's missed the 5. I think he was wary about the line that the cue ball was coming off the rail there. And once again, Tommy's been let off the hook. That's twice where Cobra has not really piled on the points. And it's about, this is the type of thing that Tommy must start doing. He must really make a pile of a score on one of these visits, and the sooner the better for his sake, because it's always going to be the race to the caroms, and that'll give him a chance at least to get something on the board if he can. But if he keeps faffing about with 12s and 13s, he could be here all night. He ain't going to get anything done with that. And already he's going to have to play something at distance here. So top side of the 3. And, well, he could play a 2-in-1 shot here to the rail. It's a bit dicey with that side pocket, but he's going force follow. It looks like he's coming down to the 1. Then again, my eyes don't tell me anything. But there was a possibility of a 2-in-1 shot there to the 5 or the 1. If he'd missed the 5 with the spin on it, it may well have spun to the bottom rail into the 1. I don't know whether it was looking good from his end, but you know, a lot of these players would rather play direct rather than giving himself a 2-in-1 shot at a carom. Well, famous last words, Tam. I've just read that. Should be getting well ahead of Cobra after this. Well, that soon killed that visit. Welcome to Mark. But you feel that sooner or later Cobra's going to settle down and get himself in shape here. And Tommy's going to end up paying the price because of it. Now again, he's got the angle in the 5 where he can run it in and then run through so that he's in between the 5 and the 3, and then he'll have a choice. If he finishes straight, he can draw from the 5 to the 3. He's just about there. So now it's the force follow. Now, see, with the 3 ball being up at spot, it's a bit dicey to try and go behind the 3 ball here. It means he's got a further distance to get to the carom. So playing the 1 ball leaves him the 3 to the 5, which is a much bigger target. Whereas there's some Cowboy players would pot the 5 because it's 5 points, rather than playing the shot that gives you the next best shot. That's the way you've got to think. You know, it's not a case of see the 5 ball, pot it for the sake of the 5 points. There's too many Cowboy players do that, and they don't think about the next shot. This has suddenly become a little bit testy. Now again, he might be too. I mean, I don't know. He could roll this in dead weight, and he could finish somewhere over here and have a 5 to the 3. I mean, he just needs to roll it in sort of dead weight, and that's pretty good. He's got the right idea. I mean, he's even got a 1 to the 5 if he wants to risk that, but I think he'll play safe and go 5 to the 3. But again, he won't hit this too hard. He'll just... He may well be able to pot the 3 and run onto that. Sorry, pot the 5 and run onto the 3, but he doesn't like the look at it, so he is looking at 1. Well, this is going to open out to the right of the 1 ball again, and once again he's lined up with a 5-3 if he wants it, just depending how far he goes with the cue ball. So he's to the right of the 1, so now he's got a choice again. And it's a bit thin, the 1 to the 3. I mean, he could go 1 to the short rail in the top and then into the 3 from behind. And he's gone 1 to the 5. Now that for Cobra was a wee bit risky, running the cue ball. But the run is now 22, the lead is 33. Now the 5 ball can get nudged out here. I think he might have to jack up a bit though. In fact, he will have to. He'll have to jack up a bit if he's going to get into the 5. He's trying to catch it. He had to jack up. He was never going to get it plain ball. He had to get into the cue ball. So the run ends on 25. So you have to say Tommy's been let off again for about the 3rd time. And this has to count. I mean, he's got to get rid of the deficit. He must on this visit. And straight away, he's got to get either edge of the 1 and right spin from the bottom rail into the 5, or 3 to the 5. That's going a bit narrow. Well, he's got the edge. Just caught the edge of the 1. This is another tricky one because the cut angle on the 5 is too much and the cue ball's leaking away left here and it can be blocked out from the 3-1. He's got to be careful. It can be blocked out. I think he's okay though. But again, it's one of these wee tricky ones. Picking that line. Make your choice. It looks like the 1. I'm assuming it's the 1 this time. You know, that 3 ball needs to get out of the way. It needs to get out of the way. Oh dear. It's amazing how things can go pear-shaped very quickly with only 4 balls on the table. But that's definitely gone pear-shaped. And he's going to have to try and make the combo, I think. He's going to have to cut the 3 onto the 5 to try and get it in the hole. He's got no other option. I mean, looking at the 1, he could be crazy and try and cut that down the rail, but that's well recovered. Well recovered in the sense that he's got the pot. He's going to have to play another really thin carom here. He's 18 behind. Now, he doesn't want to hit this full in the face. And that will do. Well, now, anywhere behind the 3 ball down the bottom here, and he may have an angle to get that 1 ball into play. He can always fall back on the 3 to the 5, but I think if he has a sniff here, he wants to get that 1 ball out of there. And he can use... Well, he's let that run. I don't know what his theory was with that. Trying to get top side for the 5 to the 3. And he's in no man's land here. Going to have to draw to escape. I would have played that a lot gentler to give me a sight in that 3 to the 1 or the 5, but he's done it another way. He's now brought the 1 into play. And immediately again you've got to think of where you're putting this cue ball, because the 5 ball obviously goes in its spot, but where's the cue ball going to finish to give you a sight of the next carom? And he's played, I presume he's played the pot there and he didn't play the carom, because the run ends, he's missed the pot. He may well be mixed up there. We're not 100% certain what he was doing. He's missed the pot in the 5. He's caromed the 3. But was he playing the carom? Well, we'll only know if Tommy tells us that at the end of the day. But either way, the run ends in, 22 or something, and he's still behind. But I think where he was in that 5 ball, if he played to pot the 5 and nudge the 3, well, that's fine. But to me, it'd have been far better getting some spin in the cue ball and getting it up the table. Well, Tommy's had his chances, and essentially he's failed in all of them because he's not got himself in control of this rack whereby he's in the lead, and favourite to be first to get to 90. He's had far too many opportunities already, and he ain't got there. And it's a pattern that he needs to remedy ASAP. You give Cobra enough opportunities, he's going to start piling on the points. He's got to, unless he's going to really have an off day, because he's missed his fair share already as well. This rack could have been dead and buried. It could have been well through the caroms by now. And we're, 23 minutes into this first rack? Well, 23 and counting. And this is another one of these dodgy ones. I mean, the carom isn't the problem. It's the pace of the carom and where the cue ball skims off this 1 ball, because it could scratch. And he's got to just get into the cue ball a wee bit. And he's hit it fairly full, the 1 ball. Cue ball safe. But again, it needs a recovery shot. And he's got to push through in this a little bit. He just wants to get the cue ball running up the table high enough. And that'll do. Well, guaranteed carom to follow. This is where Cowboy gets easy when you're pushing that ball around the table next to the 1, because you're guaranteed your next carom. Then you've got to make sure you don't take your eye off the HUD, and you know where you are as far as the scoreboard goes. So again, the carom isn't the problem. What he has to do is play it in such a way that he's pushing a ball on, and he doesn't kill everything else in the table. And he's gone between them there. That wasn't ideal. But again, he can go through the 5, and he should have the 5 to the 3. Once again, he needs to be careful. He goes far enough that he doesn't block himself off on the 5-3. Now this, well, it's a wee bit more distance. He won't be hitting this with any pace, because he knows he's got the 3 ball into the side. Regardless of how he hits the 1, he knows he's on the 3 ball. The cue ball's going to probably just push the 5 towards the pocket, and he'll probably end up just resting or bumping the 1, but not too heavy. So the guarantee was that he was always having a shot on the 3, but now he's got a problem. So looking at where the 3 is, 3 balls going down here, remember. What's his next carom? This is where he's got to really work the cue ball and get over this side, so he can at least play something from the 5 to the 3 or the 3 to the 5. And it's awkward, he's over the 1 ball as well. And he's tempted, I think, by the draw off this 1. The run is 31, he's an 89. And in order to play a draw shot off that 1, he's got to punch that 1 around the table. But the other shot is the hampered one from the 3 to the 5. I mean, that looks like the safest route because, you know, if you go 3 to the 5 and you miss the 5, you have a strong chance of hitting the 1 anyway. But you're really awkward over that 1 ball. And he's looking around and looking around. I think I would have got myself hampered over that cube, that 1 ball, and played the 3 to the 5. Well, he's gone with inside, caught the point. How unlucky is that?
Let's watch a replay of that last shot.
That is unlucky. But he's still short of 90. And I think Tommyy might well have tried to get a nudge on that 5 ball there. But he should be fine. And this might be a problem straight away. Oh, I think he's okay. I think it will squeeze past the 1. Just. And no more. So he's leaving the 1 to the 3 next. So there's a chance here. I'm attempting fate by saying that. There's a chance that Tommyy could still get to 90 before Cobra, but it's, you know, when you're sitting in 53 and you haven't been really putting any score on the board with the chances you've had, it looks an awful long distance to go. And now he's hampered again. He's going to play the draw. He didn't even bother going round to look at the shot. Now, again, there's a bit of thought needed here. Where are you going next? Because if you pot the 3, it's going up table. So you've got to get yourself on such a way in this 1 ball that you can get to the 5. And he'll probably just go direct to it. Nice and gentle so he doesn't kill the 5 ball. And that wasn't gentle enough in my book. I think he'd have played it a bit more gentle than that, but he's still okay. Welcome to Brain Fill Out. Force follow. Again, not a problem. Now that 5 ball needs to get out of the way of the 1. Because he's only got the 1 pot and ball here. But again, he needs to just pot this dead weight so he gets up to the kitchen line or just above it on the right hand side. He doesn't want to do any acrobatics. He doesn't need to. He only needs to make sure he stays on the right hand side. Because the shot's on from the 1 to the 5. He'll maybe have a couple of options. And that'll do. That's fine. But again, just got to be careful that he catches this left side of the 5. Nice and gentle so he doesn't kill it. I see he's gone the wrong side. Total disaster. Total disaster. And, you know, he's a bit of a numpty for not seeing that coming, it has to be said, because you have to be careful in how much of that 5 ball you're catching. And the safest route would have been even to go to the rail and come in behind it. But he was suckered straight into it and walked right into the trap. And that's a huge fail again for Tommyy. And he's only got himself to blame. Because now Cobra is off and running. Ball in hand. 1 to the 5. Cobra's got a similar problem here. Again, looking at where he is, he can just bump behind the 5. And He's almost chickened right out there, but he got it dead weight. And that's the sort of pace Tommyy should have played that at. Well, it's all about the chances that have come and gone for Tommyy so far. Cobra, once again, has let him off the hook. He's only put 2 on the board, and he's still got a fair bit to go in the caroms to actually clinch this rack. And this is another awkward one. Got to go to the rail, and he has to watch the pace, that he's only bumping the 5 and not skimming. Well, he's gone direct. Another dangerous way to do it. A bit straight in the 1, but he should be fine from the 5 to the 1. I don't know that you want to risk going from the 3 to the 5, because that involves too much of a stun, I think. Well, drop the 5 ball in. That's what I'd be doing. Just dropping the 5 ball and going up top. But again, dead weight. No pace in this at all. You only want to just run through far enough. Just let that cue ball come off the potting angle of the 5. Just like that. And that opens up the 2 possibilities, 3 to the 5. If you miss the 5, you're bound to hit the 1. He's 30 behind. And that's terrible. You can't be missing shots like that at this stage, Tommyy. And the visit is only 16. Well, this 5 ball could come back into play. And it has done. Sort of. He can go 5 to 1. And again, Cobra unfamiliar with these caroms at distance. So it's the 8th or 9th opportunity for Tommyy to get back in this. And again, he's running the cue ball. Too much running in the cue ball. And he suckered himself again. And that's it's not done anything to change my mind about who's going to be in the final. But wait a minute. Cobra's at it as well. Well, we've saw a couple of numpty shots in the last 2 visits. Well, when's Tommyy going to wake up to the situation and actually get himself in gear here? Because he's run this cue ball a bit too loose on a couple of occasions. He's had his punishment. When's he going to start learning that he needs a bit more refinement in some of these shots? Once again, pot the 5, get below the 1 ball. That's the objective here, but it's just nice and gentle. Not dead in line though, like that. And straight away, He's locked himself out. He's got to go 1 to the 3. There's no other option. It's 1 to the 3 or nothing at all. What's he trying to convince himself here? Well, he's trying to run through, but look at where the 5 ball went. Why didn't he go 1 to the 3?
Of that last shot.
Look at where the 5 ball's going. 5 ball's going to the rail. That bumps the 3 out of the way. And again, you've got to see that. So the cleanest option was to go off that 1 to the rail and into the 3 or the 5 or whatever the hell it was that was up there. Welcome to Lard. And well, Tommyy somehow is still only 20 points behind here. And I'll tell you, there's one person that's going to feel a proper bit of a loon by the end of this rack, and that'll be Cobra. Because he's as much at fault as well. He should have been, I mean, this rack could have been over. He's not getting the job done fast enough, and Tommy's still got numerous opportunities, and another one here to be right on his shirt tail in the next few minutes. Now, 1 ball does spot. Now, I wonder if he actually checked that before he played that shot. Right, Steve's in the building, obviously. That's the wrong button. Hang on a minute. Wrong button. Try to tab out, hit the wrong bloody button. Well, you haven't missed anything, Steve. This has been a comedy of errors.
Really?
Oh, yes. Big time. Cobra can't get into the caroms fast enough. Tommy's had umpteen chances. Tommy's scratched on a few occasions. Cobra's done it as well. And nobody wants to win this rack. And at the end of it, Tommy's still got a chance of pinching this, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, you got to figure this is going to change. Somebody's going to start playing better. I mean, that's just brutal in this game, scratching and losing your points.
Again, Cobra's, whenever these caroms are at distance, Cobra's struggling.
Well, this one's like automatic. I mean, it's hard to miss this.
So Tommyy is 4 away from 90, and he might pot the 3 here. Well, he hasn't, but what he's also done is, I think he's blocked himself out in the 3, has he? Yes, he has.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that angle, that's a 30-degree angle, so you have your choice of going thinner or thicker and still getting to the ball. I mean, there's no reason to end up making a 3 ball there.
Yeah, but his biggest fail there was not hitting that hard enough to make sure he did get out into the open.
Yep.
You know, you've got to make sure you're bumping that ball out of the way so you're leaving no doubt that you're going to be able to at least see the 3 ball.
Well, you know, I mean, those are sort of the smaller details of how to play this game. You know, you're thinking so much about making the carom and doing this, and you know, you don't think about that. And then after you hit the shot, you wish you would have. I mean, it's you know, Cobra's still learning this game, so it's, you know, it's not going to be automatic for him to necessarily realize, gee, you know, I need to hit this with more speed. Now look at this.
Well, the 3 ball, if it squirts past the 5, I don't know whether it's gone comfortable. Well, it has gone. I mean, he can't cut this in now, and he will be going across for the 3-5 to follow.
Yeah, and yeah, he doesn't need his choice. He's at 87. I just realized that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad, making the 5 ball.
even that shot he's got wrong, because again he's got far too much running on it, and now he's having to play a big stunt to get into the 5-ball.
Yeah, and there's a corner pocket there he's got to avoid too.
Oh, by the way, Steve, you know how you were talking about these tuck spinner problem in VP4? You're not talking about Sex Trillion by any chance, are you? Because he's a tuck.
Geez, are there any Turks that aren't a problem in VP4?
Well, I had. Well, it wasn't so much a conversation. He was rabbiting on, and I was doing my best to understand what he was getting at. But to cut a long story short, he was talking about who can help with the sync problems he's got in VP4. He can't go into a room. He can't play a game.
He's got to have just a terrible connection or something. I mean,
Well, he insists he doesn't, right? So it turns out that he's got VP4 online via Steam, and I told him today. I said, "Look, if you get anything else in Steam," he said, "No." I said, "You don't have any games in Steam other than VP4 online." So I told him to ditch Steam. He wanted the link for the download of the online, but I made sure he did that first, and I told him just to get rid of Steam and get rid of VP4, and then I gave him the link straight to the online. Now, I haven't heard anything back from him since. Now, I've either got rid of him for good, or bear in mind he's a few hours in front of us, he's probably gone to bed.
Well, I'll be surprised if that fixes anything. I mean, I don't know why that would. I mean, I suppose there's a chance, but I haven't heard of
he said
with a theme like that other people were able to solve by going to the Solaris version.
Well, he did say something to me in the chat. Again, it's difficult to understand what he was meaning, but he said something about not keeping some sort of files from Steam. So whether he's monkeying about and doing stuff with Steam, I don't know.
I mean, Steam's a pretty simple situation because they provide, all the auxiliary files you need and stuff. And, we've had more problems with the Solaris version than Steam.
Well, see, what I could have told him to do is in Steam you can right-click any of the games in your list. I've had plenty of times where I've done an update for a game and it won't run or something. But if you right-click the game in the games list and go to properties, you can actually do a check on the files, and it'll download any
files.
Yes,
right.
And I never asked him to do that because I thought we'd then be getting to a complicated stage with him.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that would cause sync problems. Missing files is usually going to cause crash problems.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether he's had any joy. Anyway, meanwhile,
watch out.
There we go.
There goes the point.
I'll tell you this little monkey friend of mine, he's been busy tonight.
Well, this is a pretty easy shot. Come behind this 5-ball.
Well, not if he hits it too hard. He could come behind it and end up scratching.
He could, although where it is and that angle, you'd have to hit it perfect and with a lot of speed.
Look what he's done here. He's teed up Cobra.
Yeah, I mean that's just that's not a carom you should miss. Yeah, the thing about the Turks is I've tried to deal with all of them, and there's two huge problems. One is that I think they're using some translation program, and it's terrible. You can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Another thing is when you do understand what they're saying and you respond to them, all they want to do is argue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're lying to me. Oh, you're this, you're that. I mean, it's like I'm just trying to help them. So I've just got to the point where I pretty much ignore them because you can't communicate with them, and when you do happen to, then they just want to argue with you. So it's just
I see
hate
that.
To put all Turks in that category, but
I see that as a challenge.
Most of the ones I've dealt with on VP have been like that, just been difficult.
I see that as a challenge.
I wish we had somebody that spoke the language because that would really help. I'm sure that's a lot of the issue is that they're probably getting frustrated because of the poor communication.
I'll get them sorted one way or another. Well, Cobra's making the vital contribution you would think that's going to seal the deal here. The run goes to 6.
Yeah, well, that miss by Cobra on the easy carom sure ended up costing him.
Tommyy, you mean?
Yeah, Tommy. So, I mean, this is a pretty simple situation here. You know, you're thinning the 3. It's pretty hard to scratch off this 5. You know, if you hit it with lower speed, it's really hard to scratch off of it.
Cobra's making sure that's never going to happen.
Well,
They ain't going to get
but
there.
you didn't hit it. Yeah, and again, I think they're just being too cautious because when you're coming from behind the ball and it's where it is right there, it's really not a very big scratch. You know, even if you hit it too hard, you got to hit it pretty much dead on to scratch there.
Now, that's not a bad hit because he's actually gone in behind the 3 there and just brought it off the rail slightly, but he's got to work with the 1 ball here. And the safest route would be to thin it on the right side, but watch you aren't potting it. He's running off the 3.
Yeah, I'd probably go from the 1 to the 5 and get the 5 out of there. Because again, you know, that one, as long as you hit the side rail, you're not going to scratch. If you miss the side rail, then yeah, you could scratch. But as long as you get to the side rail, it'd be very difficult to scratch there. You just got to look at the direction the ball's actually going when it comes off the rail.
And he's got to go right side of the 3 here down to the 1. I mean, I don't like.
Well, again, I mean, you could play to the 5 here if you want.
No, I don't. He can't get the 1 ball out of the way to play to the 5.
No, the 3 to the 5. I'm not saying I do that in that situation. I think the 1 ball's a better shot.
Yeah, he played my shot. He played my shot. Of course, the 3 ball was always going to be dangerously close to the pocket, which it is.
Yeah, well, now he's got to figure out how to get 1 more. But I mean, it's actually a good situation for Cobra because Tommy's got no joy here with the ball sitting like that.
Well, now comes the question, and this is a question I always ask in this situation, of particularly, of course, the player that's chasing. How is he going to protect the 1 ball? Because the 3 ball and 5 ball are pretty much dead. So the safest thing to do.
Well, I don't think the 5 ball's dead. The 3 ball's in a pretty bad spot, but I think the 5 ball's playable.
Well, it is playable, but obviously only from a certain angle where you're not pushing it into the pocket. So he's very limited in what he could do.
Well,
So
you just got to come to the side rail. I mean, where he is here, this is not such an easy shot to get on that line. He's looking like he's going to play this to the 1, and I think this is a good shot.
Yeah.
Yep, very well done.
As long as it stays off the rail, it's going to be 1-0.
Now, we've seen these guys that don't play much Cowboy have trouble with these final shots. We've seen Albin have trouble with it. We've seen Cobra before. This one's pretty easy. I would imagine he's not going to miss it, and he does.
Now, did he get a double kiss there?
Let's watch the
No,
replay
he
of
didn't.
that
Let's
last
have a look.
He didn't. There was no double kiss there. He just hit it way too thick.
No, he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just I think inexperience in Cowboy. You would think that they'd be practicing that shot a lot because it's been problematic.
Well, Tommy's taking a risk here.
I don't think the guys, I don't think Tam would miss that. Speak up, Tam. Would you have missed that shot? I don't think Tam would miss it. You know, the guys that play a lot of Cowboy, I don't think they're missing that shot.
There we go. Job done at last.
Second chance is the 1.
So that took
Tam says never.
50 minutes to get that done. It could have been all over in 25 minutes, but that's how long it took. 50 minutes.
Yeah, that was a pretty slow game. All right, so start a new game. I'm going to go get my coffee because it looks like this could take a while. Hopefully, Tommy can get this figured out.
Well, things can only improve. Yeah, I would have got out there, Tam, no problem. Not a problem in the slightest getting out off that one ball, where it was just off the rail. Obviously bumped the one. And it's amazing that Tommyy actually had a chance still to win that rack, and it only ever got won really by Cobra's run of, what was it, 5 or 6? Well, Cobra decided to take the more difficult 3 ball with the presumption he was leaving the 5 to the 1. I don't know why he didn't pot the 5 and bump the 1. That seems a strange choice of shot. And Tommy's got the same shot. And he's a blast to pot the 5. Luckily, of course, the table's open. And, well, now he should be drawn off the 5. I think the angle he's got, he should really just be sort of drawing off it and stunning down. Well, he's not even risking that. But it would have been just as well to run down and try and bump the 1 and push the 3 to the hole. See, now he's gone behind the 3. He can still cut it. And of course, had he done my way of doing it, he wouldn't have had that problem. So again, a paltry contribution from Tommyy, having watched Cobra just get 5 on his first visit. And the pattern isn't changing. But I think Tommyy seems to me to be a wee bit heavy-handed in some of these shots. Well, this will get the 1 in its spot, and then you're in the ideal setup. And again, going 3 to the 5. Got to catch this half ball either side. Doesn't want to push it down onto the 1. And he doesn't want the 3 to go in, because now he's in trouble. The 3 ball going in, goes in its spot. Now he's left really awkward, having to dig out a pot.
Well, what's going on here? Looks frozen.
Cobra's lining up the cut in the 1 ball. Oh no, sorry, the 5. Okay.
It's Cobra's turn. That's why it looks frozen. That's actually pretty funny. I thought somebody was having connection problems.
Well, that's a good recovery. You can go 5 to the 3, and again in behind the 3. I always play this with a wee bit of right spin, just so that I'm making sure that I will kick into the... Well, he's gone direct, and you see, and that's almost the sucker scratch, playing it that way. He's got away with 1 there.
Well, what were the predictions for this? I take it most people were favoring Cobra.
Well, I said 3-1 to Cobra, and I think I'm being generous saying that as far as Tommy's concerned, because he's not done anything to impress me so far.
Well, this is a perfect carom here. This is a 30 gray angle, maybe a little thin on it, a little thinner than a quarter ball.
Maybe he needs another pot.
The key to playing this game is recognize that 30-degree angle and that half ball hit. And I think if you can do that, the carom part of this should be pretty easy.
I think he's got to move this cue ball a bit, because, you know, potting the 5 and just running up top isn't going to be that great unless he goes from the 5 to the 1.
If he's shooting a 5, he needs to hit this with some speed.
I think that might do it. Yep.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit funny here, isn't it?
No, he's fine for the force follow.
Is he?
Yeah.
I guess you can get into the titty there. I don't like shooting at titties though, because that ball could go anywhere.
Well, I think
like straight back in the corner.
I think he's got a backup cut in the 1 ball though. If things go a bit pear shaped here.
Yeah, I like going to the 1 better. See that 5 ball? That could have come off the tit and gone cross corner.
Now he's
29 points. I don't think you want to take those sort of chances.
I think he's going to try and get in a similar position here off this 5. Try and get below the 5 from the 5 to the 3. That's simple enough because all he's doing is rolling the 5 ball in and just coming off the rail. He doesn't need to do anything major.
Well, here he is trying to get straight in. Or he could have got the 30-degree angle easily, just following off the rail and have a nice little angle with an automatic carom.
He's okay, but that again, another few inches and he could have been blocked out. Why didn't he just play it safe and stay well below it? He'd have been fine.
Well, I say not just well below it, but try to get that 30-degree angle. You know, playing safe to get straight in all the time it's going to burn you eventually.
Now he's got a same shot again here. And this time he's leaving it more open. He could have done with running a wee bit further left. But again, it's just a fair chunk of the 5. He's fine, but
this is perfect. You can't miss that. That's why you want to get this kind of angle, because you can't miss it. You can be anywhere from a quarter ball to a 3/4 ball hit. You're going to hit that 3 ball. I mean, it's near impossible to miss. You'd have to do something to the cue ball to miss it.
Well, the run is 41. Now he's got a problem. And the cut in the 1 is way too thin, so he's going to have to run the cue ball. He's looking at the 5.
Yeah, this isn't bad, though, because you can just go up and down. I mean, where you're going to get for the carom may not be wonderful, because it's a little hard to control the speed, but I don't think making the ball should be an issue.
Well, he should be fine here. Again, he's got to go to the rail and try and bump into the 5. I don't think he should be trying 2 rails because there's too much of a gap.
I'd be going forward with right English and going 2 rails behind the 1.
Yeah, there's too much of a gap here to miss it. He's going forward. He's got there. And now he's fine. Bit of a testy little cut down the rail.
Then a duck carom. Yeah, I doubt he'll miss this. I mean, Cobra shoots pretty straight.
Well, he's not enticed by the 1 ball. He prefers the big cut in the 3.
Well, doesn't matter which one you shoot as long as you make it and get a carom. And
the run is 51.
This isn't bad. I mean, the 1 ball's huge. You just got to watch the scratch here, but the 1 ball's huge. Just got to make sure you get to the rail early enough.
Yeah, if
he's going off the 5. I'd play this off the 3 every day of the week.
He gets this 2. He's playing it at a dead weight pace, so.
All right, good shot, and he's well set up now for the 5. This could be a really big run if you keep it going. I mean, he's at 52 right now.
Well, I think the idea was he wanted to miss that 3 ball, but again, this is not bad that it forces him into bumping the 1.
Yeah, you just got to play for behind it. You just can't get on top of it.
Yeah,
So
should be
it's
aiming
about,
for that first diamond.
you know, I mean, you can take it to the side rail if you really want to. I mean, that's more guaranteed of not scratching is just going to the side rail with right English. He's going to play behind it from this side to the left.
First diamond.
Perfect.
Yeah, but where's his next shot though? He's going to have to dig out a pot again.
He has not come up with a shot.
And once again, I mean, he can roll this 3-ball in dead weight and stay up there. I mean, he's got to just roll it as dead weight as he can.
Yeah, I think that's where, you know, like on that last shot, he could have hit the ball at a different speed than that. You know, I mean, that dead weight stuff can be, I mean, it's certainly safer, but if you know where the cue ball's going, you know you're getting behind the one, you might have wanted to hit that harder.
He's on the parallel line. Again, I think that was about the best he could do. Yeah, this is not nice looking. But he's got a 2-in-1 shot here. The only danger is, of course, the scratch in this bottom corner pocket. But Cobra generally doesn't hit them hard enough to get a 2-in-1. He has to get it direct. And
you called it. You called it, Hugh.
Where's the cue ball going?
You called it.
There you go.
Boy, you saw that. You saw that coming.
It's always a danger, but I mean, I'm the player that risks them all the time. But the points have all gone, so that is painful. Now, what can Tommyy do now? He's been again let off the hook. A big contribution there, whatever it was, 50. What was it, 56 or something, and counting. See, Tommy's running again. A bit too much pace in this cue ball for my liking. It's bound to head to disaster.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this with a lot of players where they just turn the cue ball loose, turn other balls loose, hit them hard. I mean, that's the thing about Cobra playing those shots soft is that, you know, he's not going to have a lot of bad things happen.
No. Well, that's what he's done all through the tournament. Yeah.
If you're going to have a tendency, it's better to have a tendency to hit them easy than it is to turn it loose. I mean, I think you can find a better place to be by hitting some of them harder where you're able to control the balls a little better. But if there's any doubt, hitting them easier is going to be a safer approach.
Well, that one ball just bounced out too far. He would have liked that. He would have liked to have been taking the one ball there.
He's okay here. I think if he can come up past the one ball, he'll have a carom back to the 3. And it's pretty natural to do that here. Well, he hit it easy.
He's trying to stay up top, and of course he's
trying to stay below it.
Missed the pot. So again, it's the same old story. Tommyy gets a big break there by Cobra's scratch. Tommyy only makes 10, and Cobra can start from square one again.
Yeah, what's Tommyy had 2 turns and he's on 17. That's not going to get it done.
No, it's just exactly the way the first rack's gone. I wonder if Cobra's going to go a bit more into his shell as far as risking these 2-in-1 shots. You know, he's tried one. Well, I don't believe he tried the 2-in-1, but he ran the cue ball a bit heavier than he would normally. Than if he was going directly to that 5 ball in the rail, and he's paid a big price there.
The pocket was like good, at least 3 feet past where the 3 ball was spotted. I mean, he hit that one pretty hard. If you're not sure about the line, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes players have a hard time controlling the ball when they put spin on it. He probably put run and spin on that, which is going to make the ball run longer.
And again, wants to glance off this 5, doesn't want to push it full in the face towards the 3. Well, it's opened up, he's fine. He played it a wee bit more weight so that it broke off the 3.
Yeah, I see Cobra pumping out another big run here, like at least a 60, maybe getting into the 90s. I mean, he seems to have figured this game out pretty well. I mean, we see him make some mistakes here or there, or maybe some of the fine points, but the basic game he's playing pretty well. And the way he pockets balls and moves the cue ball, he's going to be tough to beat in this tournament.
He's going to be hampered here, I think. Yeah, he's right over the top of the 3, and this is really awkward. This is not what you want at distance.
Well, but the thing is, it's only visual. You've got the VP's perfect strokes. It's not like real life where, not only you got the visual, but you got the stroke issue.
Well, look at how much of a problem it is, you see.
Well, see, that's all the visual. It's like, that's all not seeing the shot because you're elevated over it. And there's ways to learn how to do that.
Well, Cobra's contribution, only 15. And again, Tommyy, at some point, Tommyy has got to take advantage. I mean, the laws of averages say that he's got to take advantage at some point in this match. Problem is, it might be way too late before he does. He can find himself 2-0 down and knocking on the door of defeat before he wakes up to the situation.
I will say the one thing about that shot where you're jacked up over another ball that you really got to pay attention to is where the Q-tip is, because when you're up on top of the ball and the butt of the cue is up, that cue ball will turn. And if you're not just dead square in the center, left or right of the cue ball, even just a little off, that cue ball is going to turn.
You'll flick a little bit on it, yeah.
So you got to really make sure that the tip is centered horizontally. In real life, it's important too, but it's a little less important because you can move the tip through the ball. So a lot of people don't know about this kind of stuff, but let's say that you're shooting a shot and your tip's like a quarter tip to the left of center. If you move your tip through the ball to like you're going to a quarter tip right of center,
you got it.
You'll hit the ball straight.
I thought he'd missed that there.
And you could say, well, why would I do that when I can just make the cue go straight? And it's kind of like in golf. You notice nobody hits the golf ball straight. They play a fade or they play a draw. And, And, if they play a fade, they'll hit it down the left side of the fairway. They play a draw, they'll hit it down the right side because it gives you the whole fairway to work with. If you hit it straight, you only have half the fairway. Just try to hit it straight down the middle. Well, because you don't know whether it's going to go right or left. One of the things you can do with your Q-tip and pool is you can purposely move your Q-tip direction. That way, you know which direction it's going because you're purposely moving it that way. If you're trying to make your Q-tip go straight all the time, that's hard to do to go straight. Well, snooker players, they don't move their tip a lot. They go straight, but snooker's a different beast. Pool players, most of them move their tips. If you watch them close, you'll see the tip not going straight a lot of times.
Well, it's a first for Tommyy. He's found himself in the lead. Yeah, of course, the objective is to keep building on it and above all, keep the points. And he's tried to force follow there, but the 5-ball wasn't getting out of the way, so that's killed that run. No sooner have I said that.
You play one pocket, you'll see that kiss every time for sure.
The run ends in 34. The lead is 31.
Well, I mean, at least Tommyy got himself some points that time.
Yeah, I just don't think it's enough, though, Steve. I just don't think it. It's just not big enough.
He's given Cobra too many chances, and he's been a little lucky that Cobra hasn't been popping off more big runs.
Well, bump the rail and kick into the 3 from behind. That should be the target. And he's gone direct to it. See, now he's got a bit more angle in this 3 than he would really like, but I think he can still just nudge it in and roll up towards the 1.
Go across to the other side. Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. Because now he's got the half ball hit. You can't miss this 5 ball. I mean, it's near impossible to miss it. I see the way he hit that. It's like, why? All you had to do was roll it. He did something with the cue ball there. He tried to stun it, which he could have missed it doing that. But see, it's also like out of control. He doesn't know where the balls are going. He could have just rolled that ball, and it would have hit the 5 very gently. It would have hit the 3 gently, and he could have controlled where they went.
Bit of pressure on this for the recovery, though. This cut in the 3. And that's gone too soon to the rail. And Tommy's got a perfect angle in this 1 ball to get right into that 3.
Where's Slim today? Slim, are you on the stream?
No, Slim hasn't been seen. He hasn't made himself known, so presumably isn't there.
Well, he's got a couple balls on the rail that he's going to have to get figured out.
Well, get rid of the 5. That takes care of the first problem, and he's got a carom lined up again. He's not picked the bottom angle.
Right. Wow,
that is a big bad miss there by Tommyy again.
He drove that straight into the rail. That wasn't even close.
And again, I mean, it's only a contribution of 1, and I think that lead by Tommyy is going to be short-lived this time. Top side of the 1.
Yeah, I think Tommy's struggling a little mentally right now, because the challenge in these matches when you come into them and you know you're the underdog and you know you have to play good, it's real easy to put pressure on yourself and take yourself out of your game. And Tommy's certainly not playing Tommy's game, because he's much better than what we're seeing.
Tommyy.
Now again, this is a great angle. This is a great angle from the 3 to the 1.
Tommyy says in the chat, this rails are cruel now. And Cobra says, are we just shit? And I said, you're shit.
Yeah. It could have been the old rails, and that thing wouldn't have come anywhere close to the pocket. He hit that thing straight into the rail.
Yeah.
I mean, the rails definitely are playing tougher. You definitely can't hit it, way up the rail like you used to be able to, but they're still not ridiculously tough.
I'm surprised that Cobra didn't try and get into that 5 ball there when he potted the 1. Now he's left himself needing a carom. He's blocked out on the 1 to the 5, and he's going to have to let loose again. That was a poor shot.
The Cobra won't miss this, I don't think. I mean, this is the kind of shot Cobra's good at.
Missing he's got a carom to play, not a pot.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, well, that's...
See, now this is a bit straight in the 3, but I think, let's have a look. Yeah, as it's dead straight. They can stun it in firm. Well, that's not where I'd be going. That's not where I'd have been going. I was going to say stun it in firm and tweak it over a bit. Now he's going long distance. This is got scratch written all over it.
Yep.
Where's the cue ball going?
There you go, boys.
Where's the monkey? Oh, no, we're going to get John Virgo.
That's the monkey. The Cowboy numpty scratch. Everybody knows it. Everybody that's played Cowboy knows it from that angle and the pace you're playing it to get to the carom. You hit a half ball either side, you know where you're headed. And dare I say it, Tommy's going from bad to worse.
The thing is, you don't have to play it that way. you can control the speed on it. You know, you have to, have to play off a stun more. Now, it's certainly going to make the carom a little harder, but you could play it off a stun and hit it at a speed where you're not going to scratch. And I'm not seeing guys do that. They just blast away in that situation.
Well, he didn't want the one ball to go in. He's still fine, though, because he's got the open table. He's fine in the sense that he's got a shot to continue, but what he's got to think about is getting that 5 ball out, and he's got the opportunity to stay top side of the 3, but he's coming down table to play 1 to the 5.
Well, and that stops, it'll be real easy. This is perfect.
That'll do it.
See, here we go, 30-degree angle. You can't miss this.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's an automatic pilot thing. You know, he's going really thin. Pots the 1.
Well, you can go anywhere, again, you can go anywhere from a quarter ball to 3/4 ball when you're at that angle. And it's the cue ball is going to come off pretty close to 30. It'll be a little bit more than 30 if you're right on a half ball. It's a slightly less than 30 at a quarter ball, and it's slightly less than 30 at 3/4 ball. But, you know, you're not talking about a big difference. When it's sitting like that, you could hit it anywhere, and it's going to hit that ball, as long as you don't do something stupid like try to stun it. I really wish Yama would have played in this tournament, because he would have showed everybody the right way to play. And, you know, the thing about this is, I can say this or that, or you can go and you can watch the Yama recording that Hugh did. But for some reason, and I don't know why, when you're playing somebody and actually playing them, not spectating, but playing them, and they're doing this stuff, it sinks in a lot more than when you're spectating. I don't know why, but for some reason, when you're in that competition mode and you're playing and you see what they're doing, it sticks with you better. Or at least that's been my experience.
So, Cobra into the lead. 24 and counting is the visit.
Yeah, well, Tommy's had a lot of chances to put it to him, and he hasn't taken advantage of it.
And that looks pretty good, although he's going to be nailed to the rail.
And the thing about it, if you're Tommyy, you got to be thinking like, man, I couldn't have got Cobra on a better day.
Exactly.
Cobra just really isn't playing very good. So
yeah.
Tommy's got to try to take advantage of this. And
well, don't forget, Cobra's come into this match a bit bruised, he was 2-0 up against Albinario, wasn't he? And Albinario dug himself out of a hole, especially with that run. When he was 2-0 down, he got the run right through the caroms.
He wasn't just 2-0 up. He had a great chance to win the third game.
He should have won it 3-0. Yeah, and that chance that he gave to Albinario grabbed it with both hands, run out the caroms, scratched in the 101, and got himself into the game. I don't know whether Tommy's capable of that, though. Certainly, there's no evidence of it at the moment. But it can all fall into place as quick as a blink of an eye. I think that's what Tommy's got to be hoping. The run is 32. Cobra edges closer to the vital carom stage. And then Tommyy has to produce, given the chance. He's just staying up top. Now again, he'll be going 2 rails into the 5.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm leaving the room because I got to deal with a problem in this other tournament. Let's see.
Well, Cobra's in good shape now. Again, just looking at the angle from the 1 to the 5. Left himself a little bit steeper. And this time he's played the stun better. One ball looks as if it might go in as well. Now, can he play this 3 without hitting a 5? I think he can. You just dink it through dead weight. I don't believe he wants it. He doesn't need to get up top. He just needs to roll this in.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament's really ripe for the picking. If you just get some guys that, play a little smarter, pocket balls a little better, recognize the carom angles. I mean, Cobra and Albin are definitely beatable. There's no doubt in my mind that Yama would just drill these guys. I mean, it's doable. I'm a little bit surprised that we're coming down to the same guys in another world championship.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's not really a surprise though, because they apply themselves to the tournaments, the big tournaments that they choose to enter. We saw it from Cobra in the straight pool, Albi in the straight pool, Black Ball. We saw it in that.
Yeah, I mean they do, but they had a long ways to go in this game. I mean, have both of them improved? Yes. Are they both really good Cowboy players? I would say no. I mean, they're pretty deficient still in the carom part of this thing, and the last shot. I just feel like compared to the other tournaments, this was really a great chance for some of these other guys to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But really, where they've given themselves that chance to win each time is by the scoring contributions they've made on visits. It's been heavier than all the other players. Consequently, they've been generally first to the caroms, and even though the carom play doesn't come natural to them, they've still been more than good enough to put some runs, 4 and 5, 6 contributions in the caroms, and that's got the guy sweating, especially when he's still 15, 60 points behind and having to produce a contribution. So it's always been more than good enough to beat these guys.
Yeah, well, obviously they've been better than the rest of the field, so I mean that's why they're where they're at.
So Cobra still one short. This is again like the first rack. Cobra was one short on 89, and that double kiss on the 5 ball there has only fractionally brought it off the rail.
He can shoot it if he wants to. It doesn't look like he wants to.
Again, he can drop this in dead weight, I think, and stay top side of the 3 and get that 5 out.
I think this is a little risky, to be honest with you.
And he might be going parallel. See, he's a bit too far. He's a bit too far. He's going to have to get into it a bit.
He's okay. Yeah, this is not a hard shot because the 5 is a big ball there. Oh,
yeah.
Well.
He didn't get into it.
No, well, no. Well, I guess what you're saying is he didn't put his tip low enough.
Yeah, he needed to get the tip lower.
Stun shot with little right English. I'm just as good as Cobra plays off a stun. I'm really surprised that he missed that line by that much.
It was Tommyy.
Oh, okay. No wonder. No wonder. Yeah, Tommyy Cobra would not have missed that shot.
Yeah, he is in game. Do me a favour, brain fill out. Do me a favour.
Problems he's causing them.
Do me a favour. Go into his room and ask him if everything is okay now, and see what he says, because he's never get back to me and said, "Aye, that fixed it," or everything's fine, or I'm still having the same problems.
Yeah, good luck trying to talk to him. What's the combination of Turkish and English? I mean, like what for Spanish and English is Spanglish. What's Turkish and English?
Pigeon English. So Tommyy on 71. I'm saying nothing else. I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna let him try and score here, because every time I've said something, he's died a death one way or another, and this ain't good.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll tell you what I think the difference is with a guy like Cobra and Album. They understand where the cue ball line is a lot better than the other players. And even if you don't play caroms, if you understand the line the cue ball wants to move on initially off the object ball, that's a huge advantage. Now, I'm not saying they've got that down perfect, but I think they understand how to get the ball on line better than most of the other players. And they obviously pocket balls better than the other players.
Well, let's hope he doesn't ignore you, brain fill out. I didn't know he was in a private room. Well, there goes that carom.
Well, what does it matter if it's a private room?
He says it seems to be going well.
Well,
so
if it's a connection problem, it'll turn to shit again.
I think more importantly, did he do? I asked him if he did what I asked him to do, and because I'm sure he's mucking about with Steam. He said something that led me to believe he's messing about with Steam, with files and stuff. I don't know whether he's been mucking about he's trying to fix things by messing with Steam. So that's why I told him to get rid of it.
Yeah. I will say this. There are definitely some things in Windows that you can change that could make your connection better or worse. Because there's some things in a registry that directly affect the more low-level parts of the internet.
Big
I think
miss
they
there,
actually
the
even
Cobra.
have a setting for the MTU. They've got a bunch of different settings that affect
how
packets are put together and sent.
He got that. He must have feathered that one ball and no more. I thought he'd missed that big time.
Yeah. See, like this kind of shot, I'd probably thin to 5. There's enough room there.
Well, there you go, Steve. The VP, the VP support has fixed him.
Yeah, well, that's what he says now. Wait till his connection goes to shit in a half hour. I have a hard time believing that it's that. Not that I would ever rule out the possibility, because we've all seen bizarre things happen on computers. But I'm going to
reserve judgment.
I'm going to reserve judgment until later. They don't give permission for Steam accounts. I think what he's trying to say is that
you don't give
when you're on the Solaris, you can't run it from Steam.
Now
I think that's what he's saying.
He now says they don't give permission for Steam.
Well, who knows? I don't know what the Turkish government does.
See, now we don't know what he's talking about.
Now, no, this is what Brain fell out saying. I have been in China, though, and I can tell you that I had a lot of problems going offshore from China, and the Chinese do filter everything. I mean, they absolutely filter everything coming onshore. And, that's part of they have their philosophy is they're going to control the information. They control the media. They control what comes in on the internet.
Yeah.
But because of that, it's, now I'm not saying that you couldn't play virtual pool from China. I mean, virtual pool is actually, it's not, the latency doesn't bother it much if there's latency. It doesn't require much bandwidth. The only thing it really requires is that you don't drop connections. That's what causes VP problems is if the connection starts dropping a lot.
Well,
We've got some stuff to automatically reconnect and deal with connection issues, but if the connection's really bad, you're gonna
we do
see
have
a lot
couple
of problems.
We've got a couple of players. That HK guy. There's another one. Both with Chinese flags. So the assumption is they're either Chinese born and bred.
The HK guys in
Hong Kong. So that's
that's
officially
another story.
Yeah, it's officially China.
I'm not sure what they've done with Hong Kong as far as the internet. I'm not sure if they're treating it the same as mainland now or not. I don't actually know of anybody playing from China, but I haven't tried to find out either.
Well, surely you'd be able to tell on your console where the signal's coming from. I mean,
I can find the IP address and find out, but I've never really looked to see if somebody's coming out of China.
Well, back to the matters in hand here. Tommy's on 90.
I just know HK guy because once upon a time, this is probably 7 years ago, he was having problems, and I'd written all this code to deal with. I wrote a lot of low-level Ethernet code to deal with packets coming in and how they're handled, and it's pretty complicated. Anyhow, he had a problem that the code didn't handle that nobody else had. So that's how I know he's from Hong Kong, because I started working with him to resolve this problem.
And he's never had a problem since, by the sounds of it, because he never seems to have any issues.
Yeah, well, that was a nasty little problem. Most people never see it, but he was, and he was kind enough to spend the time to answer questions, and we got it fixed, and everything's been good since then. You know, the Ethernet code is pretty solid. You know, but again, it doesn't handle drop connections, and the thing that I think the thing that, you know, people don't understand how all this stuff works, and it's pretty complicated. And I think that the one basic thing that about Ethernet, which is what internet is running on, is that it really doesn't work that well for exception conditions. Like for example, like let's say that your connection drops you. Well, the way it's supposed to work is I'm supposed to be informed. I'm supposed to get a message back that your connection failed. The problem is sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. So, you know, the things that are supposed to happen don't always happen. So once you get in that situation, now you got problems, because now what do you do? How do I know that Hugh's still there? So then you have to start doing a lot of screwy things. So what ends up happening is that the basic code for dealing with a lot of this stuff is real simple, but for dealing with the things that don't work, it gets real complicated.
Well, I should have went with my first route there, which was the left side of the 5 thin, get it spun around the rails and play the 2-in-1 shot. He went directly for the 5. And Cobra's visit ends in 2. He's on 94. Tommyy now on 91.
This is kind of a now or never moment for Tommyy, I think, because he can't afford to get down 2-0. I keep saying this and then watching guys struggle to win when they're up 2-0. But, you know, if you're down 2-0 in this game, you should be in trouble.
He's not playing the brave shot. The brave shot is to go off the 3 to the 5 and send the 3 down towards the 1. You know, that would have been a more productive shot had he got it. Because he may well have set up his next carom. Now he's going to have to dig something out of here. He can go thin off the 5, down to the 1, around the rails.
Yeah, or he can spin this over to the 3 too. I mean, I kind of like that shot. You just got to watch out for the 3 railer. in the corner pocket. But
he's got it. Now he needs a bump. He needs a bump. And that'll do it. And now this can be productive. He's got to take enough of this 5 ball so he's hitting that one full in the face. And he wants to chunk this down towards the 3.
This is simple. This is a quarter ball hit. You just want to be about, quarter ball. Oh, he hit it hard. Oh, I see what you're saying. He's trying to move it down to the 3.
You've got to move them into position.
Yeah, you got to hit this easy. Well done.
Well, again, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'd already have played the shot. 5 to the 1 or the 3. He's going 1 to the 5, but I'd have been going for the flashy shot.
I agree. The 5 to the 1 or 3 is a lot better.
Simply because my odds are better. The danger's a scratch, but my odds are better in getting a hit. See, now he's split them up. Well, again, the brave one would go off that 5 ball, short rail down the bottom, long rail on the left side, short rail on the top end, long rail and into the 3 ball.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good effort.
If I was playing off that 3 ball, I would have hit it thicker and played for the 5, gone behind the 1.
Well, it's a good contribution.
That was a better path to the 5.
That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah, he ran 6, and now Cobra's got to realize he could lose this game.
He's got a lead. It might not be lasting that long if Cobra can pick off the first hit, which he has done.
I spent all this time in the last match saying how Cobra was the best mentally in VP and all this, and he's 2 up in Albin and he loses the match. And he didn't lose the match because Albin was tremendous. He lost the match because Cobra basically gave that match away. I mean, yeah, Albin played pretty good, but you're up 2-0 in that situation. You're supposed to win. So we've seen some cracks in his armor, and let's see if he can get it done here under pressure.
Well, this is a little tricky one.
Yeah, let's see. Is there a double kiss? No, there's. I think he can get this without the double kiss. I think he can just avoid it. I don't know. It's a little bit tricky for me to tell off these VP rails. The ball comes off faster than it does in real life.
Yeah, but it didn't do him any harm.
But that's important, recognizing that. That comes up a lot in one pocket where you look at a shot and you go, I might not, I think I can miss the double kiss, but if you recognize that if you get it, you're going to get it on the backside, and what's going to happen when that happens, it can be okay, And it was there.
So Cobra into the lead.
Yeah, is he going to get the 1 ball back over?
Well, he's going to go 3-5.
Pretty easy 3 to the 5.
Now, does he want to go 3 to the 5 from the short rail to be safe? Down in the bottom here, in behind the 5, because he's got a perfect line to do that.
Yeah, and that might be a better shot, because if he doesn't, he's going to separate these balls. Because he's going straight to it, and doing that's going to separate the balls.
Playing it ultra safe, so now he's in trouble.
Yeah, I think I liked your shot better, Hugh, coming behind that 5 ball.
Well, if he'd finished behind the 5, he could possibly edge from the 5 to the 3.
I would be playing off the 1 ball to the 5 here.
Yep. Again, it's a good line. But Cobra's been burned. He's been burned earlier on, remember, where he lost those 50-odd points. And he doesn't want to run it.
The chance you take if you do something where, you don't get to carry him is that the chance you're taking is that Tommyy is going to mess up.
Well, that's a good shot. That's a good one.
A very good shot.
Let's watch the replay.
Well, this is not the easiest scratch. I'd probably draw it straight back in the corner. Yep, that's what he's going to do. I think that's the easiest shot he's got. I really don't see him missing this.
There we go.
He doesn't. All right, so you think Cobra's having a deja vu moment? It's 2-0.
Well, Tommyy, the only way now is up.
Well, luckily for Cobra, he's not playing Albin.
Well, that second rack was what? How long did that first one take? Like 50 minutes. So that would be, when did we start? 6:30. Yeah, that was about 45 minutes as well. That rack, I think.
It wasn't. Well, they both went back. I mean, both guys got to the table a lot of times. Yeah, that's one way to tell how people are playing is how many chances do you get. I know that, like, if I'm playing pool in real life, I'm playing like 9-ball or 10-ball against somebody. If I get to the table once a rack, they can't beat me. They got no chance.
Well,
if I get that many opportunities, and that's really what it comes down to in these games is like, how many times are you going to get to the table? And I guess the reason why I'm not trying to like downgrade Albin's and Cobra's game, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that the people they're playing are getting to the table a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's why I say they're vulnerable, that, they don't have to win. The problem is the people that are getting to the table a lot of times aren't scoring.
Yeah, they aren't capitalising. And Tommy's broke off here in rack 3, and all he got was 3, and that tells the story.
And I think now, if Cobra's really learned anything from the last match, you might see it here. Like, you might see him pop off a big run and not mess around.
Yeah, take the pressure right off.
Just put it to him. That's what you got to do in a situation. Is you just got to bury him. You never want to give your opponent any kind of hope.
Well, he can trickle through, and that will do nicely. He's just behind the 1 ball.
Yep, he's that's well played. Hit that a little hard, but he's okay. Maybe he's trying to get the 1 ball close to the 3. He's still got the shot on the 5. Got to imagine he's going to shoot the 5 and then.
Well, I think anywhere in the left-hand side, once he pots this 5, well, he's looking at the 1. But again, if you go 5,
I'd be shooting this 5 every time.
Yeah, you've always got the 2 choices when you get through.
Yeah, you got 2 balls close together, and I think if you get more towards the, I would have run that more and come closer to the long rail and then played from the 3 to the 1 to carom. You get a little further towards the long rail where the 1 is. It's a very easy carom from the 3 to the 1.
Now, is he going to try and... Let's look at the angle he's got. He's got the...
Well, I just make the 5 and hit the 3. You just got to, you can control the speed if you're worried about it.
I think that in actual fact, the 3 ball's in the way if he was trying to go 5 to the short rail and spin into the 1. So he's just stunned across and spun it off the rail into the back of the 1.
He plays good enough that he can figure out a way to hit balls, but, he's not playing the most efficient way. And, you could say, oh, well, what does it matter if he's efficient? He still got to hit. Well, what matters is, the other way he's going to get to hit 98% of the time. And the way he just did it, maybe he gets it 90%. And that 8% is a lot, especially when you're saying, okay, well, what's important is making big runs and keeping the other guy off the table. Well, if you go 90%, 90%, 90%, 90%, what you're going to find is that, you're not going to make it to 10 turns in a row, to 10 shots in a row, because the way statistically it works, those multiply out, and 90% really isn't that good. So that's why you want to play in that efficient way where it's easy. I'm not telling people to play this way or that way for, I'm not just trying to blow it hot air. I'm saying it because that's how you're going to get a high level performance, because no matter how good you are, if you're playing in an inefficient way, it's going to bite you. You just cannot do the same percentages as a better player that does things the efficient way.
Well, I've seen a couple of racks that Cobra's had with Yamaguchi Taru, and he's been given as good as he's got, I think, on a few occasions that I've seen him.
Well,
But
I mean,
the only
he's
thing
a
that
good
he's
player.
deficient on, the only thing he's deficient on is seeing these caroms better. Which again, he maybe you see the thing is as well that you get into a habit of doing things. A lot of Cowboy players get into a habit of doing things. You've seen it from a lot of them where it's the draw shot recovery, which is running the ball loose and asking for trouble. And the caroms aren't coming natural because, again, in Cobra's defence, he doesn't play the game. He never has done, and he only has done in this tournament. So he's got his way of doing it. But efficiency, it doesn't have to be all that efficient other than to make good contributions, and that's been good enough to get him where he's got so far. And that's why I've said it's always going to be him and Albie in the final. Every other guy that's been in this, myself included, I always played the flashy way. Far too loose, running the cue ball, looking for three railers, playing it for a bit of fun. But Cobra's finding his way. Cobra's finding his way to get the job done, and as long as that's good enough, it's good enough for the majority of people he's played. It's not quite as good enough against somebody on the same level, and that's Albie. So
you're like the stub of Cowboy.
Oh, I mean, I only get it a couple of days a week, really, when I play Cowboy, my days off, and I play it for, I play to win, no doubt about that. Anybody that's part of me in doubles know that I play to win, and I get annoyed when I see numptiness going on. But, I still don't fear to use the rails. There's a lot of guys just are determined not to use rails. They're not seeing shots. And the reason they're not seeing them is because, first of all, there might be a hint that the shot's there, but they're not brave enough to take it on for fear of look like an umpty, whereas I'm entirely opposite. If I see a possibility of a shot, I'm going for it.
Well, Tommy finally got a chance.
Well, it didn't last long. I hadn't finished my sentence.
That didn't last long at all.
Well, Dwight says Twitch has stopped working.
Well, and then he says I'm back again.
Yeah,
I've seen it stall a little bit here or there, but it seems to be running okay right now.
Is it buffering or anything like that? Because the other guy said they had problems with Twitch the other day where it died a death.
But I think this is why, to get really good at something, one of the things required is competition. Because I guarantee you that if Cobra and Albin are getting drilled because they're playing somebody that does play more efficiently, those guys are going to notice what the other guy's doing. They're going to practice, and they're going to improve their game. The problem without having a competition where you're losing is that it's exactly what you said. Cobra does it good enough, and he's winning, so, it doesn't really matter. But that's why you need the competition. Is that's what's going to motivate you to get better.
So anyway, Steve, let's cut to the chase. When are you copying the last 9-ball tournament and getting the 9-ball World Championship sign-ups? Even though you have to do the update, get the sign-ups done.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe this weekend.
Your channel seemed to disappear here for a minute, just went black, and then on refresh showed you as offline. I
never saw
some
any of
other
that.
channel, and some of those were having same issue. Was that on Twitch, so you've moved to YouTube? Right. Well, whatever, at least there's one working, that's all that counts. Now I'm using, that's the thing I wanted to mention, I'm using Restream, which is, as I said, is the third party site where I've got my stream key and everything set up from them so that it feeds the signals from YouTube and Twitch, and I can then have the chat on my screen. But there's also another one that I've discovered, and the only thing that worries me is I was doing some testing on it the other day. It's a site called SwiftStream, as in Swift, as in fast, and they're basically doing a copy of Restream. The only worry is it's Chinese. So I tried to do a stream test with it, and nothing came up on YouTube and Twitch. So I bailed out straight away.
Yeah, Brainfella is saying Twitch is having problems, so other channels are having problems too.
Yeah, they must be throttling things down or something. Well, meanwhile, it's looking nasty here now for Tommyy. Tommyy.
Yeah,
I mean, if he gets to the table, he might be resigned to start blasting and just going for shots and probably falling into that trap.
Cobra in this situation, you know, you really want to try to keep Tommyy off the table, and you know whether you're going to win or not. That's the thing, is just you want to have good habits. So, like when I play pool, if I play somebody that, you know, has no chance of beating me, and I get in a certain situation where against a good player, I play safe. I play safe against that person that can't play and is going to get drilled. And the reason why is because I'm practicing good habits. I don't want to just start slamming balls around.
You don't want to get sloppy.
Yeah. So, you know, here's a situation where Cobra can practice being up 2-0 and finishing the deal by, you know, not giving Tommyy a bunch of chances, which is, you know, how he ended up losing to Albin, and you know, because this could come up again in the finals.
Yeah. Well, Cobra's been burned by Albi, and you know, I can't. It was a recent tournament where Cobra suffered defeat from Albi, went to the one-loss side, and then got to the final and got revenge. I can't remember what tourney it was, but that's what he's odds on to do now.
Well, he's certainly capable. I mean, he's certainly capable of winning. There's no doubt about it.
So 80. What's he on? 89, and he's bound to be on 90. Now, again, he's got a nice little bump into the 3 off that rail. Might need. Let's have a look at the angle. No, he's not. It's not quite as neat as that. He's got to dink it past the side pocket, going that way. He might be going for the draw. Yes, he is. Yeah, you see, he chickened out there though, because he's worried about the one ball where it's going. But yeah, it's a good contribution. You know that.
I just refreshed my Twitch. It was pretty far behind. Oh, Semi-Pro's here. Hi, Semi-Pro.
Oh, welcome to Semi. You're just in time to see the end of the match.
Yep.
It's not been a classic. Let's be plain English here. It's been pretty poor, especially from Tommyy. Cobra's, you know, done enough. His contributions have been heavier than Tommy's. Tommyy had a slim chance in the second rack there. Even when that happened, Cobra put in a run of, 5 or 6 caroms to sort of take it away from him.
Well, he's at the table now, so, you know, I don't know what his high run is in Cowboy, but he might need it right now.
Yep, nothing short of that. You know, he needs to pull one out the bag here. That 3 ball needs to, well, that little bump in the 5 has helped. And now he's got to miss the 3. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I think he was thinking he needs to miss the 5 because that's
Well,
what just happened.
yeah, he had to miss the 3 so he could get up into the middle of the table and get from the 5 back down to the 3. But he's all of that
he
going on
gave
in his head. He's
Cobra,
missed the 5.
he gave Cobra a pretty nice situation here.
Yeah, this is all but over, folks.
Well, he's going to have to move a ball. My guess is he's going forward. I would play off the 3 ball into the 5 and move the 3 down towards the 1 ball.
Just cut it, yeah. The line's there to do it.
Get the speed right. Well, that's not wonderful, but...
Still a line to bump it off the short rail. Just got to pick that line, bump it off the short rail and come into the back of the 1. He won't be hitting it too hard.
I'd be going from the 1
or
to the 3.
Or you could go 1 to the 3. I mean,
I like that.
The difference is that, well, you see, the difference with me is that I'd be going it hard enough to go to the 3 and miss the 3 and hit the 5 just in case. I don't think he got any of that. He tried.
Yeah, I mean, that... Boy.
But it's 3 vital caroms and 3 points closer to the final.
Yeah, let's face it. See these pockets he hit, that was like a fairly steep angle, and he hit half a diamond up and it still went in. I mean, these pockets are playing tougher, but it's not like they're ridiculously hard. I played on a lot of tables where on that angle you could have hit like an inch from the pocket and it wouldn't go in.
Oh, look at this. This is game over, folks.
Oh, this is...
I'll tell you what this is. This is this.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's what that is.
Semi-pro's going to take a big chance and bet
yeah. You stick your neck out, Semi. Yeah. Put your head in the block.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out how to play this, and I think this is probably the safest way.
Oh, I think he's missed it.
No, that's just
so close, but so far.
But it's so bad. I mean, how do you miss with a ball sitting like that?
No, Cobra done it. He's found a way. Tommy's trying to scratch again. He's doing his best.
But that's the kind of stuff.
I think he's behind the point.
He's got ball in hand with balls
right
next to each other, and he doesn't get to carry them.
Look at this. No, he's not behind the point at all. He can pot that 1, but he's leaving the 1-3 carom or the 5. I think it's a bit too thin to be risking it. Now he's blocked himself out, has he?
No, I think he can shoot the 1.
Yeah, he's okay. Well, anything now for Tommy's a bonus. The bonus at the end of it is putting a contribution and keeping the points.
Well, he's left himself a little funny here. I'll probably do the follow through here. This angle's pretty good. I doubt he'll miss this one.
Now that just wants to see, it's just hit the point there. Again, he can just roll the 5 in. Now, does he want to roll the 5 in and go forward and come back off the short rail? He's looking at staying below the 1. This is a wee bit trickier.
He's going to shoot the 5 here, I think.
At distance. Again, he wants to hit the 3 ball, half ball either side, no matter what side. That'll do it. And the 3 ball will spot, and he'll have a 5-3 or a 3-5 anyway. That's fine. Spot's there. It's still a long way to go for Tommy.
Yeah, he can shoot this 3 ball if he wants. He chose not to.
And now the 3's gone.
I probably would have shot the 3 and put on the spot, and then you still got the 5 to shoot.
Needs to just slow up. See, now he's in this angle.
I gotta stun it. And he looks kind of low. Oh, he's thin enough. Well, he was kind of low. Yeah, he was too low. I
too
thought
much
he
in
looked
it.
low. You know, he was going to have to cut that. You know, when you get to the point where you're low enough in the cue ball that you got to start cutting it too much. Now you're dealing with a lot of curve of the ball.
Yeah.
You're better off hitting
And that's what it did. It
and not having to put a bunch of draw on it.
Spun away from the 1 ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a more moderate Q-tip position is going to give you a better percentage hit there.
So Cobra on 93. He's going for the draw again off this 1.
He's going for the shot that I don't like, but
one
good thing about that is he's got all the balls down here.
This is it now. Well, he's got to go 5 into the 3 because then he's looking down table towards us. He's got to go 5 to 3.
He doesn't have to. He could bump into the 1 here. I mean, I don't, you know,
then
he can come behind the 3 on the next shot.
I'm looking at the angle from there because he'd be bumping the 1 out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have done it that way. I would have rather got the 5 where I could play behind the 3, but yeah, see, he could have hit that 1 fuller and kicked the 5 over where he could come off the 5 and go behind the 3. All right, well, the 3 ball's dead. He's got to hit enough of this 1 ball that he just skims the 5.
Yeah, he wants to come there.
And
he's hit it too thick.
He hit the 5 full. He needed to hit more 1 ball so he could hit less 5 and get himself set up to milk them. Yeah, well, he's got the draw. I'm sure he'll get this one. This one's easy. And I don't know if that's what he was playing, but it was a pretty slick play, but he didn't come out of it very good.
Takes him to 98.
Well, he can play. He can play off the 1 to either the end rail or the side rail. I think the side rail's maybe a little bit better. I don't know. It's funny here because the ball's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good choice going end rail. That was very controlled.
Well, that takes him to 99. So now the 1 ball just has to stay in play, provided he gets the carom.
Yeah, this is a little bit tricky here. You might be better off thinning this 1 with a lot of left English and coming into the 5. You know, he certainly did not want to bank this ball in. You could go forward with left English too and bank the 1 past the side pocket.
He's looking backward and forward.
I would thin the 1 with left English if it was me, because you know, that way you cut the 1 ball past the side pocket. See, I do not like doing this because you're just asking to lose your points.
He's okay. He hasn't got the hit.
He hit it good.
Did he hit it?
Yeah, but look what he's left himself.
Yeah, he may well be about to lose the points.
Yeah, there was just, you know, that was a tricky shot, and he finally figured out how to do it without making the 1 ball, but look what he left himself. He didn't think about this part of it.
Well, he's got to kick this from the short rail in the top end of the table here.
Well, he certainly should have no problem hitting this, which is what he really needs to do so he doesn't lose his points.
What pocket did he call? Did he call the side
Same
pocket?
One. Yeah, I just hit this easy. Oh, God, he missed it. That was not a hard hit.
Well, all that hard work.
Oh, boy. There's no way he should miss that. I mean, that's just not a hard kick.
So now Tommyy.
I mean,
He's got to
I'm not
protect
saying
the
he should
one.
make the cue ball there, but he's got to hit the one just to preserve his points.
Tommy's running loose.
You know, I mean, in some ways, it was a little unlucky to roll up the way Cobra did there. I'm not talking about how he rolled up on the 5. I'm talking about how he rolled up where he had the shot. He took so long to try to figure out how not to foul on the shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go, well, it's a little unlucky, and it is. But the thing is you hit hundreds of shots, and some of them aren't going to come out good. And that one just happened to at that point. And those are the times when you got to figure out how to execute. You know, that's a big separation in player skill level, is the guys that can figure out, you know, how to deal with those where it rolls up a little funny are the guys that are winning. Not that I think it's going to change the outcome of this match, but you know, here we go again where we're up 2-0 and he's struggling to get it done.
Well, I would have got the 1 in its spot there because this is tricky. I don't know why he didn't pot the 1. He's now trying to go thin onto the 1. And that's why he's missed the hit.
Nope. All right, well, here we go again.
Well, he made the mistake there of not potting the 1 ball because he should have been down below the 1 and looking up the table.
So Cobra's at a funny angle here. He can't follow through. So, you know, the question is he going to try to draw off the 5 into the 1, which is risky?
I think
Or is he going to play some sort of more standard carom shot and go multiple rails?
He's got to go. He's got to, for once, use the rails this time.
That would be the wise choice. I mean, it's a pretty easy hit on the 3 ball. You just got to get it, you know, fairly deep into the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, you know it's going to open up off the end rail. I mean, you need to be really
it could be
more than a few inches outside of the pocket.
It could be really crazy, Steve, and smack the 5 ball, loads of draw, bottom and left English, and kick the cue ball into the 1 that way. But he's chose a shot and he's worked it nice.
Yeah, and you know, a good pool player is going to be able to get that ball on line. That was, you know, well done. So now he's got an easy follow-through shot. He's got to make sure, again, that he keeps the 5 ball. He should be able to keep the 5 ball well inside the pocket here. Yep. Almost straight down the table. And
3 to the 5.
You know, I'd probably go 5 to the 3 myself. 5 goes 2 rails down towards the 1. Just got to make sure you don't hit it hard enough that you can make the 5. I mean, it's a simple hit. You can roll this ball. You don't need to stun it. He's going to go your way. And again, you can roll this ball. You don't need any kind of stun or anything. Just going to open it up. And he didn't open it up enough.
But look at what he done with the 3 ball. That was my thinking.
That shot, you know, that's the side you don't want to miss that shot on. And I say that because, you know, naturally the cue ball isn't going to open enough. So you have to make it open. So in those kind of situations, can you make it open too much? Yes, but it's not easy to do that, especially if you're not stunning. If you're just rolling the ball, he could have spun that a lot more. You know, you got to make sure you err on the side where it's hard to miss it.
Now, again, is Tommyy thinking strategically and tactically here? You know, we've got a 3 ball over the pocket, and we've now got the 5 ball dead in the pocket as well. So Tommy's obviously going to have to pot one of them in a second or two.
He's got to make points. I think for Tommyy, he can't start doing that. I mean, if Cobra was closer to 100, he could maybe play some strategies. But at this point, Tommy's got to go for the points.
Well, what I'm really getting at is that Tommy's got to know when to lay off and make sure that that one ball is safe, either by it being in a really awkward spot, or more likely by just rolling up to a ball and hooking Cobra if it comes to it. He's got to do everything to try and keep himself alive. Well, Cobra can he can overcut the 5, or he can go 1 to the short rail down in the bottom and into the 5. But if he overcuts the 5, he's running the cue ball up to the 1, and that might get the job done. Now, he could be brave and go for the 2 or 3 railer onto the 1. It's a big hole round the back of the 1, but he might as well go for it. I mean, there's no...
Yeah, he's only got 1 point. I'd be going for this.
Yeah.
And he's playing behind it. Now, this is a very good shot.
That's a good hit.
That's the way you want to play it, is play to go behind it. You know, I mean, you could screw up and not go behind and make it, but if you're playing to go behind it, then, you know, you'd have to be pretty far offline to...
Well, the more practice he gets with them, the more willing to take them on. I mean, obviously, it's a situation where he's almost home and dry, so he's going to take the risk.
Well, I mean, he's getting better too. I mean, I bet there was a time when that carom would be not so easy for him, and you know, he played that really well. I mean, he's definitely getting better.
Oh, wait a minute, got my buttons wrong. Hang on, I want to get up there to look at the 3 rail. He's got to go 5 to the 1. This is a big hit.
Yeah, pool's just one of those things where, you know, when you're you've gotten better, but when you get in the competition, it's still real easy to make mistakes, even the same old mistake.
That's the pocket.
You can tell Cobra's gotten better, but he still hasn't got to the point where he's playing without a lot of mistakes.
Up there, that's where he's going for the match. And he's just got it too thick. But that'll do. Yep. So now Tommy's in a position where he has to protect the 1 at all costs.
Yeah, this is a last chance saloon here.
Even if it means, you know, losing 2 or 3 points, he's still got to make sure that Cobra doesn't have a sniff of the 1 ball. He's got to do it slowly but surely. It might be the prolonged approach that he needs, but he can't be taking a risk and leaving that 1 ball like there, for example.
Well, I think the problem is, you know, when you're this far behind, you're trying to score points. All it takes is, like, you know, like if he misses this ball or something, you wouldn't think he would miss this ball, but, you know, it happens.
Every shot is dicing with death here, and he's tried his best to scratch there, and he might be nailed to the 1. And he's in stuck here. So this is ideally where, well, he's trying to pot the 1, and he wants to stay behind the 5. He wants to just dink this into the hole. And that was a good shot, because if he'd missed that and it had gone past the pocket, it would have finished up here somewhere, and Cobra wouldn't have probably had a shot. Would you guys seriously be interested in doing a 3-ball world championship? Like a race to, what would that be, first round? Race to 31, first round. Loser's side, race to 21. Final to 101. That sounds good to me.
I'd love to do Honolulu, but, you know, the biggest problem with doing Honolulu is
it's calling
we really
shots.
have to take off the call shot, and then it's going to be trusting the players, to be honest, because I just, you know, I think one thing we could do is, you know, it's not that hard to speak it. You know, we could use Discord, and you could say, okay, you know, 5-ball, 3 rails, you know, so at least people know.
Look, semi-pro, there's a guy that's got problems. Larry, Steve-O, I know you both hate me. Don't
Boy,
care either way.
Is the paranoia kicking in?
Happy New Year.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize you were that smart, semi-pro. I didn't,
yeah. Nobody
one of the
likes him
things
at
I've
all.
noticed is I've met some people that were really, I've had people working for me that are brilliant people, and the smarter you are, the more likely you are to be paranoid about things.
Yeah. I don't think he's that smart though. I think he's a bit thick.
I knew this guy that
Well,
he could run 250 balls practicing straight pull, and if you bet $2 with him, he couldn't run 5. And he was like really paranoid.
well, this shot here, Monster would be out, and so should Cobra. Big stun in the one ball.
Yeah, this shot.
Well, he's calling 3 rails here by the looks of it, and that 5 ball's well in the way. So I don't know what he's thinking there.
You can get by the 5, but it's tough. He's way low on it.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. He should have played the big stun. That was an outshot there. Albie would have played the big stun. Albie wouldn't have went for rails because Albie's played Cowboy and he knows that shot. Yeah. He would have stunned that in and it would have been game over.
Albie also missed 4 outs in a row to lose the first game.
So now Tommy's in a bit of a predicament here. He's got to get the carom, but he's potted a 1, and that
I don't know if he's going to get it.
That doesn't matter. He's only lost the 3 points or whatever it is, and he's left Cobra hooked. And that's thinking. He's thinking in his feet. He's probably listened to the stream, and he probably wouldn't have been thinking of doing that if he hadn't been listening to me.
Well, I mean, there are some shots here. 2 rails into the 1 ball and play it in the corner pocket. Put some speed on it. You hit it thin, it's 1 corner. You hit it thicker, it's another corner.
Oh, hang on a minute here, though. There's something else possibly afoot here, Steve. If Tommy switched on, if Cobra doesn't get the hit here, Tommy can play another save. Well, he's got the hit, but Tommy could have really applied the pressure there had he been able to roll onto, say, the 3 ball and block him behind the 5.
Yeah, but you got to put a ball to the rail. You can't just roll up on a ball. I mean, with the balls out in the middle of the table like that, it's a difficult play to try to 3-foul them. Now, if you got the balls near the rail, that's another story because it's a lot easier to get behind the ball and not foul. Get to a rail. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't see Tommy running out, so it means that for him to win, Cobra's got to give him help.
Now, again, he could have went for the force follow there, but
like I said before, this strategy, it's fine, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. There's shots here. He's probably going to call the side pocket here. Come off the end rail with a little English and put it in the side pocket.
Take your pick. Either side pocket.
Oh, he picked the right one. That's the one you want to pick here. And is this a low percentage shot? Yeah, but there's a chance. I think it's at least 1 out of 10. He didn't hit it hard enough for starters. He'd need to put more speed on that. Because if he hit that ball in the right spot, it would have gone long at that speed. He needed to, you got to stun into that.
Well, again, that 1 ball is in a dangerous spot, but he can certainly get the hit on it here. That's always got to be in the back of your mind when you're defending for your life. You just take what you can get and then duck. He's got a surefire pot here. The pot in the 3 ball is too straight. Now,
why wouldn't he pot the 5 ball and get to 90?
Yeah, so if he pots the 5 and gets to 90, he's then got to stay the right side here. I don't think he's going far enough. That's ugly. That's not good.
Yeah, he's okay. It's a little more than a
Well,
half ball hit. You gotta stun this a little, or hit it with a little
well,
speed.
I think he wanted to be cinching this, as you say, Steve. He wanted to be here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't a hard shot. I mean, the danger is hitting him harder is that you could, something bad could happen.
Now he's got to pull off a shot. Has he hit that? Is his spin going to work? Yes.
Yeah. Well, the problem here is as soon as he misses a carom, he's in trouble.
Well, the one ball where it is, and where the cue ball is at the moment, wouldn't be necessarily all that bad to leave the cue ball up there.
If the 5 ball is off the rail, he could kick behind it and get safe, but it's not.
Well, he could spin into it though.
No, that's
it's a death touch though.
Where it's sitting, that's not a good shot.
Well,
it needs to be off the rail.
Well, he's got to run this cue ball a lot further, and that might do. But the in-off's into the side pocket here. Can't use the 5 ball to go in off, even though it might slightly make the pocket bigger. That would be a legal shot.
I'd probably go to the corner because you can run this more natural. I'd probably put right English on and play to the corner.
You've got choices here.
Play to the side here.
You could go.
I don't like this as much because it's a little more sensitive, but it's certainly doable.
And down into the corner, or you can go into the side. He's called the side pocket, and that looks good to me.
A plop.
And it's game over.
Well, congratulations to Cobra.
Well done to Cobra. And, I gave Tommyy 1 rack. That didn't materialise. It's a comfortable win for Cobra. The inevitable has happened. I said it was going to be Cobra and Albi in the final. And it will be. So the deadline is the 17th, which I believe is the Tuesday. So they've got plenty of time to get it arranged, but if they do arrange it for the Monday or the Tuesday, that's my week off, and I'll be able to get it. Now, the other thing I'm going to check is, back to event.
Cobra said in the lobby game, and we were poor. So that's a good thing because, one of the first parts in becoming a good player is being honest with yourself. You got to understand how you played, and, Cobra understands that he didn't play a very good match, and that's a good thing because if you're realistic about how you're doing, it gives you a chance to improve. He knows he's going to have to play better against Albin.
Now, how is it you do the set? Oh, that's that. I'm in the wrong thing. Hang on a minute. Now, why can't I find it? What am I doing wrong to find this tournament?
It'd be easier to search it.
I've totally forgotten what I'm doing here. Month. That's what I want to do, isn't it? But what
I'm not sure it's going to be. There's no filter for. There's no filter for like world championships.
No, but
maybe it'd be good to put in. But
I managed to find them before. I can't remember how I did it.
You did it in the search bar, up there.
Why is it just finding people's names though? See, that's not what I'm looking for.
Because you have to go to the event tab.
Events,
There's a tab for events. Yeah. So 2021 World Championship 9 ball. I've got it up right here. Race to 19, losers to 13, single final to 25.
I think we did the 10 ball to a longer distance, believe it or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was Friday, March the 26th, 2021. So
the 10 ball was to 17, losers to 13, final to 21. Yeah, it was less.
So, what was it? Race to 19, 13, final to 25.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Well, that's the anniversary coming up for it. So, just copy that tournament there, Steve. That makes it simple. Then you don't have to muck about with anything else. I think we've got spot money off, though, and we've got rack money off in that setting. You might want to put rack money on.
Yeah, we'll put rack money and spot money on.
No, not spot money. You're not putting spot money on in the, or you no 9 balls in the break. No, we've got to have 9 balls in the break, for God's sake.
No, you don't. I hate that. I hate 9 ball on the break. I mean, that's the thing.
That's what 9 ball's all about.
Your freaking golden break.
Well, I'm thinking more for a testing purpose, because once you do this update, we want to see whether the guys are getting any more 9 balls in the break. Right,
yeah,
9 ball in the break success here, Pig.
Yep.
Right.
Hairpig agrees with me.
All right,
so
then
that's it. We're not allowing 9 ball on the break to be a winner. It's going to spot.
That's two for it. So that's how diplomacy works in VP4.
That's all I needed was Hairpig to agree with. All I need is one guy to agree with me, and that's it.
Right. So anyway, just to clarify, looking back on, if I can get to the page, I don't know how many pages I've gone through there. There we are. This Cowboy tournament started on Friday the 18th of November. It's pretty much going to be almost, November, December, 2 months, almost the anniversary for the final, pretty much. And it's by the usual pair in the final, shall we say. It's going to be Albinario against Cobra in a race to 4. And as I say, hopefully they'll work it out that it's going to be on the Monday or the Tuesday. Of course, that depends on their work commitments.
I want you guys to practice up, because there should be more people in contention of this. I mean, we got some guys, Hairpig, Interchange X, Bedhead. There's guys that could improve enough to give these guys a go. And there's some other guys, I'm not going to mention names, but his initial is semi-pro. You should be able to come in and win one of these things.
Well done, Tommy, but you were way short of the mark today, I'm afraid. But again, you're in the money. You finished third, and
congrats, Tommy.
You're not a regular Cowboy player either, so it's still a great achievement getting that far.
It is. That's well done.
And well done to Cobra. And good luck to Cobra and Albinario in the final. So, is there anything else you want to talk about? So this tournament's now finished. So I think that's what we need to clarify. This tournament's now over, Steve. So when are you doing the update?
Yeah. Well, actually, the update's not ready. I've worked on some of it, but I'll get the next World Championship up, and I'll get my ass and gear on the update.
So the only thing is then, if you copy that one and then change it to spot money and rack money, I think jump queues are on. You're not going to do something bloody stupid and put the jump queues off, have you? Because that will kill Bill's chances.
Why would we want jump queues?
Don't tell me you're going to go down that route as well.
You guys really want jump queues?
Oh, yeah, yes, they want jump queues. Larry wants jump queues. Watch Larry keep putting in a vote. He's not going to say no jump queues. Yeah, Hairpig loves jump queues.
Okay, brain for all want jump queues? I'll put jump queues on. I think I may do break box too. It'd be nice to do break box.
Yeah, that's not going to make a great deal of difference to a lot of players, but well, it will do to quite a few, because a lot of them do like them. And Albinario likes to break from the far rails, so that'll change his ideas. So he'll go and practice and work out a break.
I don't know how much of a disadvantage it's going to be, but it definitely going to change things. It takes away some break options.
Yeah. So that's the next big tournament, the anniversary of the 9-ball World Championship. Stubb will be in it, guaranteed. That'll attract his attention.
The nuking and all the other stuff's going to be starting in the lobby pretty soon.
Yeah,
he better get off the cap stuff though, because he's going to be getting kicked out a lot if he keeps up with that stuff.
Oh, yeah, he'll still be doing it. He's not going to stop.
Well, I raised the time you can mute people and kick people. So
yeah, the only thing you haven't done is
for 3 days now, and I can mute for. I think I can mute for I can't remember what the mute is.
Was
It's
it
a
not?
lot.
Was it
Let me
not
look.
3 or 4 hours?
Let's see. How I can mute more than that. 4 hours. And then what's the kick? Let's see. I'm looking at Larry just in case I accidentally hit it. Larry's the one. Yeah, I can kick 3 days. So, and so can all the other mods. So it's got to the point where, you know, he just doesn't listen. And it's just freaking unbelievable. He says his keyboard's broken. So go buy a new keyboard. You can buy a keyboard for $10 off Amazon.
Yeah. Right, Tommy, take care. Better luck next time.
Yep. Feel better, Tommy.
Right, that is it, folks. Sorry for I had technical problems at the start there. My XSplit locked up and I had to restart the stream, but everything worked okay after that. So that is it. Thanks to Steve for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Steve will get the sign-ups done pretty soon for the 9-ball. And I mean, what are we thinking about a start date for this thing? What's today's date? The 5th of January.
Yeah, probably minimum 3 weeks from this weekend.
Yeah, right.
So gotta have enough time to sign people up.
So that is it. So I'm back to work tomorrow, and hopefully Albie and Cobra can get that match arranged. I want to get it, hopefully, even if it's on my days off before my week off, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's to come. So take care, guys. We'll see you again soon. Well done to Cobra. Looking for revenge against Albie, and thanks to Steve. And we'll see you next time.
Good night, guys.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
You're way off. I say you're way off this time, son.
Green is gone.